Hey guys, David at Guitars in the Bank, and today we're going to be looking at 7 of the craziest Japanese guitars you may have never seen. Okay, so number 1 on the list is the Casio EG5. These were primarily made in the 80s, and as you can see, it, bizarrely enough, has a cassette tape player built into it. Essentially what you do is you drop in a cassette tape and you could put it in here, and then you'd press play, and it would actually, as you're playing the guitar, you could actually play along with like a practice tape. These actually were sold a lot of times with tapes that were made for the Casio EG5, but it does work with pretty much any cassette tape you'd have. So it also has built-in distortion, as you can see here, and you can kind of decide if you want to have the drive all the way down or all the way up. Kind of just makes it more gnarly sounding the more you'll crank it up. And it also does has a built-in speaker to the guitar as well. So you actually can play this unplugged. So you have 1 of 2 options for that. You have a battery compartment here, so you can just be walking around and playing. You also can use a 9-volt as well to plug directly into it. So this fits in sort of to like the all-in-one practice guitar at the time. Again, in the 80s with a cassette tape, this whole idea was actually really, I guess you could say it was almost like a futuristic idea. They might have thought this was going to be something that was going to kind of take off, and it never really did, as why most people have never heard of this. Surprisingly, actually, though, I will say these have been making big resurgence. We sell a lot of these. This is the only one we have in stock right now, but I want to say we've probably sold at least 30 of these over the last maybe 4 or 5 years. So we always intend on keeping these in stock. And it's definitely a really cool conversation piece. Or just a really interesting, bizarre guitar to add to the collection. All right guys, follow me this way. We're gonna go to the next guitar. And our next guitar is on the floor already, and it is the crazy looking Firstman Liverpool violin electric guitar. And as the name suggests, this is heavily influenced by the Beatles at the time, the sort of Beatlemania. This would have been made in the late 60s. And they didn't really make a whole lot of them. The back of the neck's got a lot of heavy wear on it. I mean, it's been around for a bit. It's been played, it's been loved. So this is a good example of Japan taking something that's very much like a Western design and kind of going over the top with it. This is kind of that, again, that late 60s bizarre Taisco type era. We're gonna hang this guy back up and we'll get to the next guitar. I think I found it. That's not it. This is what happens when you have too many guitars. I was looking in the wrong bin. I found it. This is one of those guitars that I feel like you look at this and say, only Japan would have thought of something like this. This is so strange. Have you guys seen stuff like this before? This is like a commemorative run of the South Africa FIFA World Cup. So this is by Aria. You can see on the headstock there, really well-known Japanese brand. And yeah, I just, you know, it's interesting. We've got the built-in speaker here right in the middle of the soccer ball. Well, I guess football, if you're watching outside the US. So you got like a little rail humbucker here at the bridge. It's really not a bad playing, bad sounding guitar, but as far as the funky level, very, very strange. So yeah, look at this. It's an Edwards Sigiso Prince Cloud guitar. And so you got a lot of things going on here. This is Prince's Cloud guitar, but like with the caveat that it's made by Edwards, and Edwards is ESP's Japanese domestic market guitars. And they're actually really well made. So these were ones that wouldn't have been exported as much. But Sigiso as well, so this is kind of like somehow tied to him, and I don't know the whole history of that. All I know about him is he's one of the most influential rock guitarists in Japan, and so a lot of really cool elements come together on this one. And yeah, it's a crazy guitar design. I know, again, this is kind of more attributed to Prince, but this was Edwards' whack at it, so yeah, pretty cool. I'd like to meet the person that approved this design. You get like a little teeny tiny sound hole right here by the bridge. So it's a Model 500 by World Sound, made in Japan, of course. And it's actually a really nicely built classical guitar. We've sold one of these before that was like an acoustic dreadnought. So this was the first one we've got in that was classical. Now, what I'd heard, this is from someone else, so I don't know if it's right, but I think the idea behind this had to do with like catching more harmonics with that extra sound hole. But I looked it up and I couldn't find anything that really confirms this theory. So if you know of anything about the World Sound and the way they have these two separate sound holes, leave a comment below, because I just couldn't find a whole lot of concrete evidence as to why they did that. But definitely the craziest setup I've seen on a classical, but again, it's actually a really great player. They made really nice acoustics and classicals. All right, this is maybe one of the most interesting guitars we're gonna show you today. It's a Casio PG300. As you can see, we have some strange electronics built in here. This is sort of like MIDI and synth controllers made by Casio. And so, it's a really interesting design. Usually if you find these guitars used, this is almost always not working. The electronics tend to be corroded. And you got a lot, as you can see, there's just a lot going on in the back as well. So we actually have someone in Japan that will send all these electronics to and restore them. So this one's actually 100% restored. But if you're looking for these and you don't see that it's been restored, it's probably gonna be a project, and a very expensive project at that. So, but yeah, this was kind of like in the 80s. And again, this was a very forward thinking, kind of like, kind of the same way that the Casio EG5 was sort of a one of its kind. So same with the PG300. This very much fits into the whole, this was the future in the 1980s. It's kind of like an interesting time capsule, but guys that are interested in these, I mean, again, these actually still go for good money when they're working properly. And it's got a really nice flame top, as well as just a nice maple neck. So solid built guitar, definitely worth checking out. All right, one more guitar, last one. The Polytone Contempo. Really interesting. So if you've heard of Polytone before, the first thing you would think of would not be guitars. They're really well known for their amplifiers, which is mostly focused on jazz style. So like we've had a couple of the Polytone guitar amps and at least one of their bass amps come through. But these were kind of a different beast, because the Polytone amps were made in the US, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But these were distinctly Japanese made. And so first to note is that they didn't really make a whole heck of a lot of these. They're very difficult to find. This one's in a natural finish. And I believe these are brass pieces, same as the bridge saddles, and the nut is all brass. But just a really well-built guitar, built specifically for jazz playing as well. You have strange things here, like you've got two strap buttons on the bottom. I'm not sure exactly why. But definitely a gem, a really good player's guitar. We have this one, and this is under our Japanese guitar company. And then ironically enough, with my other guitar business, Copper Quarter Music, we have another Polytone Contempo, which is really unusual. We have the other one in black. And they're not very common at all. It's a cool logo too. So as you can see, the Polytone, they've actually put a Polytone, interestingly enough, in the P. So yeah, it's a really cool one to end on, guys. Actually, before we leave, I wanted to show you a little bonus, and it has to do with the Casio EG5, so follow me. In case I've never mentioned it before, our guitar shop is in an old bank building. That's why Guitars in the Bank is the name of the channel. So here's some of those cassette tapes I was talking about that were made for this Casio guitar. So what I want to do, let's grab one of these and let's just see how it sounds. So this specific EG5, unfortunately, we could not get the battery compartment working. So we're gonna go ahead and run on power here. So there's just clean. And then, oh man, you can really get that. Okay guys, let's just pop a cassette tape in here, see if I can kind of show you guys what it does and how it works. Don't mind all the background noise, that's just the bad electrical in this building. Whoa, that's not a song. So it plays songs, and then again you can rewind, fast forward. You can record. I don't want to record over this because this is made for the Casio EG5 to practice. They have songs on here that don't have lyrics, so you can kind of practice with it. So I guess I want to hear from you guys. Is this a guitar you would buy? I mean, it's kind of a bizarre concept. We sell actually a decent amount of these, so there's people looking for them. Could you see yourself snagging one of these and having it in the collection just for fun? Let us know below. But anyways, thanks for sticking around for the video. If you like this content, go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.